Very cool. Glad you're here. All right, so again, if you're just tuning in, I am Sheila, yoga teacher at the Red Wing YMCA. Hey, Jennifer. And hi, Chris. Like I said, this is just so cool. Just our class showing up. So we are going to get started here in a minute, so make yourself comfortable, obviously, right? And the one thing, our theme for today, you know I always have to have a theme or a quote, right? Our theme for today is you do you. Hi, man. Good to see you too. You do you. So normally, some of you are in my classes on a regular basis, and typically when I'm teaching, right, we're all together and I can see you, you can see me, and I'm watching you, and then that kind of determines some of the cues I give. And as we've done more of these Facebook Live, I realize what's so different is, of course, I feel you all there, and that is so cool. And I visualize, especially those of you that I've practiced with before, hi Di, you know, I visualize maybe some modifications you might want, but because I can't see you, I also don't know if there's a particular cue you might want, or if you want to modify a pose in a certain way. So that's why I come back to you do you, right? Which is what we should be doing every time with yoga. But in a typical teaching session, right, I can be there right with you and offer some modifications. This is almost more like I'm inviting you into my, I would say studio, but it's really just our dining room with the table pushed aside. So as we go, hi Jackie, practice the way you want to. I set up practices that I think you'll enjoy and might target what we need right now. Today we'll have a lot of heart openers, a lot of hip openers, things that are great to have, especially when we're sitting a lot, which a lot of you that are working at home, working online, maybe feel like you're sitting. But bottom line, you do you, right? So you do your practice and modify, go to child's pose when you want, take a break when you want, you do you. So on that note, come on, let's go ahead and get started. If this is your first time with us today, whatever you have for a mat is awesome. If you have a piece of carpet that you're on, that's great too. Magic carpet, right? Wouldn't that be great? The only thing, I have a mat down because, of course, I have wooden floors right here, and that would be a little rough on my knees. And if you want a blanket, a yoga blanket, which is otherwise called a blanket, or a towel, mine has been taken over by the dogs, so I won't be using that yoga blanket today. But a towel for your knees is often helpful. Also, if you have a block, they come in really handy. If you don't have a yoga block, it's just a foam yoga block you can buy any place. A book is an awesome alternative, preferably Harry Potter thickness, or I don't know, probably Steinbeck or something. Well, not the Red Pony. You want thick books, right? So you can stack a couple books together to use as a block if you wish. So on that note, we are going to go ahead and get started. So again, welcome. I'm Sheila. We'll have some fun together, and we'll find calm and strength together. So we are going to start today in child's pose, unless you're a person that doesn't feel good on your knees. If child's pose does not feel good on your knees, no problem at all. Then you might want to start in just easy seat, your version of easy seat, legs crossed or straight out in front of you. If you are a person that wants to do child's pose, okay, we're going to move into child's pose by bringing our big toes to touch. So we're on all fours right now. Just gonna move that block out of the way. On all fours. Bring your big toes to touch. Then walk your knees out as wide as the edges of the mat. And slowly let those hips start sliding back towards your heels. Okay? And when you get to that point, then walk those hands forward, letting that your head come down to the mat, your forehead come down. Now, we're all built crazy different ways, right? So for some people, you may want to put a block, don't put a block there. Put a blanket or a beach towel or bath towel into what I call your knee pits, because that feels better. For some people, you may want your arms out long in front of you, your forehead on the ground. If that does not feel good, Go ahead and stack your hands and let your forehead come down there. All right, so this is our settling in pose. If you're in seated, you go ahead and find your comfortable spot, all right? And when we get to this seated, this is a great time for us to just start cueing in on our breath right away. So in child's pose, start thinking about deepening your breath, okay? Start thinking about filling up from the belly all the way through the ribs, all the way up. And when you get that breath up, then hold it for a second before you slowly let it release. Your forehead is on the mat. Mine is moving just because I'm talking to you, but keep your forehead down so you have that nice long back, nice long spine. And continue to focus on your inhales and your exhales. Continue to focus on bringing your breath to this time, this moment. If you feel like your breath is moving very quickly, maybe you want to do that 2-to-1 breathing we do, where we inhale very, very slowly and we count as we inhale, and then we exhale for twice as long. So maybe we inhale for a count of 4, and we exhale for a count of 8. You can also do 1-to-1 breathing where you match your inhale counts with your exhale. I realized usually in a class, of course, we always count in our heads, but you're at home, you can count as loudly as you wish, all right? Now, in child's pose, we are just gonna find our next inhale, and on your next inhale, lift your chest just up a little bit so you can walk your hands over to one side of the mat, okay? When you get over to one side, they come off the mat a little bit, then let your upper body float back down again. We're just getting a nice lateral stretch, opening up that side body. Now take a few breaths in that position. Awesome, and on your next inhale, just lift your upper body up again because you're gonna walk those hands through midline, coming over to the opposite side, letting that upper body come on down. And just breathe, right? So this time on your mat is your time to focus on just you. Now on your next inhale, go ahead and lift that upper body. We're going to bring those hands center, all right? And slowly lift up into our all fours position. I think maybe the cat's been on the mat. When you get to all fours, or tabletop as we call it, all right, we check to make sure those wrist creases are underneath the shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips. Awesome, okay? We have this nice flat back, neutral spine, tabletop, right? Looks like a tabletop. All right. So we're just going to do a little thread the needle for a nice little twist. So when you are ready, inhale your right arm up. And on the exhale, you're going to thread the needle by bringing it between your arm and your thigh, letting this ear come down to the mat. Okay, so we're getting this nice twist. Shoulder comes down to the mat. Other arm can be extended out long in front of you, or you can put it in a bind to really open up that shoulder. Okay, we're just getting a little twist. Keep breathing. Now, if you have this opposite arm in a bind, go ahead and make sure you're unbound. Place that hand on the floor. You're going to push into that hand, bringing the opposite arm up and releasing it down. So thread the needle on the other side. So you're going to inhale the other arm up, and on the exhale, you're going to reach between your knees, between your thighs and your other hand. Your ear comes down to the mat, shoulder comes down to the mat. You can walk that hand on the mat forward, or go ahead and put it in a bind, whatever feels better for you. Okay? We're just gently opening up that shoulder. Now continue to breathe. If you have any tight spots, send your breath there. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring that hand back near your face. We're going to push on up and come back to those all fours. All right, continuing to warm up our spine and all those directions. Let's move into some cows and cats, all right? All right, tops of your feet are firm on the mat. Hands wrist creases are underneath your shoulders, and on an inhale, we're going to drop the belly and lift the gaze for cow. Exhale, we're going to tuck that tail. So we're starting with the tail. We're rounding that spine, coming into what looks like a Halloween cat. And then we inhale and drop our belly, lift our gaze, open our heart for cow. Exhale, tuck that tail to round that spine. Find your Halloween cat. Inhale, drop that belly for cow. Exhale, tuck that tail, round that spine, tuck that chin for cat. One more, inhale for cow. Tuck that chin, tuck that tail, exhale cat. All right, now let's go ahead and move into some spinal balance, and we'll fire up those abs, right? All right, so when you are ready, you actually can start on either side. I'm gonna start with my right hand out, but I believe you're gonna see me opposite. So when you are ready, go ahead and lift one arm straight out in front of you, thumb to the sky, right? Hitchhiker pose, and lift the opposite leg out behind you. Flex that foot on that lifted leg. Your hand on the ground is pushing you away. All right, just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's release that down. Moving to the other side. When you are ready and on your inhale, bring that opposite arm, opposite leg up. Flex that foot on that lifted leg. Gaze is down towards the ground, slightly in front of your fingers. And release that down. One more on each side. Pull that belly in so you're lifting your trunk. And release that down. Other side. Keep that lifted leg flexed. And release that down. Awesome. Now we're going to move into some cats where we use our spinal balance and we bring the opposite knee to the opposite elbow. Okay? So on an inhale, we are going to extend like we just did. Arm out in front, leg out and back. And on the exhale, we're going to round that spine, bringing that knee towards that elbow. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, knee towards that elbow. Spine is rounded. Lengthen on the inhale. On the exhale, bring that knee towards the elbow. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, knee towards elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee towards elbow, and let's release that down. Awesome. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Okay? So on an inhale, let's lift that opposite leg, opposite arm, opposite leg, and on the exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round that spine as you come in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round that spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. I think that's about the same amount. You all know I'm not good at counting how many times we do something. Now let's go ahead and just send those hips one direction and then the other. Okay, loosen those up. Awesome. All right, and now we are going to get ready to move into our plank. So depending on where you are in your mat, make sure your hands are close to the edges of your mat. You're towards the front of the mat. Let's tuck those toes under and enter into our high plank or knees plank, all right? Always your choice. Either way, in knees plank or high plank, we are aligned, right? Our wrist creases are underneath our shoulders. We're pushing the earth away. So our upper back is almost dome-shaped. Awesome. Now take a deep inhale here. And on your exhale, let's send those hips up and back for our down dog. All right, now take a minute to find your down dog. Okay? Really push into the knuckles of your thumbs and your first finger. So you're clawing into the mat so you don't have a lot of pressure on the heel of your hand. Okay? Feel free to put a good size bend in those knees. Our goal is to get length in that spine. Let air, let light into that spine. All right, now if you haven't already and you want to, go ahead and come up on all of your toes and maybe lower one heel, then come up on all your toes, lower the other heel, so you're walking that dog. And again, you do you, right? So maybe you're a person that wants to be in stillness now, okay? All right, now let's just float forward to that high plank one more time, or knees plank. Excellent. And let's push back into that down dog. Now from here, we're going to kind of continue building on our theme that we just did with our cat by moving into three-legged dog. So when you're ready, inhale that right leg high, bend the knee, bring right knee towards the right elbow. We come back almost to that plank pose. Inhale, right leg high, right knee to left elbow. So just cross to opposite elbow. Inhale, right leg high, right knee down the center. Okay, we're just gonna hang and hold. Inhale that right leg high and set that back down, okay? And we'll move into that on the other side. Go ahead and inhale your left leg, or whichever leg you didn't do, bend the knee, left knee to left elbow. Inhale that leg high. Left knee to right elbow, cross midline, inhale that leg high. Left knee down the center. We're just gonna hang and hold for about 60 seconds. No, I'm kidding. Inhale that leg high and let's set that down. All right. From here, let's begin to slowly walk our feet forward to meet our hands to find that forward fold. All right, now in this forward fold, go ahead, put a good size bend in those knees, right? So you can bring your upper body closer to your upper thighs, okay? We want to work towards getting our hands towards the floor. So it's more important if we have a bend in our knees and our hands can reach our floor, okay? Now in this forward fold, we're trying to release those hamstrings, so continue to breathe. Depends, some of us have really tight hamstrings, right? Go ahead and inhale and exhale. Now in this pose, go ahead and shake your head yes. Shake your head no. And shake your head yes again. We always come back to yes. All right, now let's go ahead and roll those wrists out a little bit, rolling in one direction, then the other. All right, let's find stillness. We are going to slowly walk our hands up our shins to find our version of half lift, okay? So in half lift, we've got this long, long spine. We're in a number 7 shape, all right, if that visual helps you. So our back isn't rounded as much as our bellies are pulled in and we have this long spine. Now let's release into that forward fold. Now from here, let's bend our knees a whole lot and we are just going to sweep our arms up, coming into that tall mountain. Exhale into chair, Utkatasana, okay? So feet can be touching. They can be hip distance apart, it's your preference. All right, we're sending that butt back. We can see our big toes. Hands can be at heart center, or they can be lifted. I'm just going to turn around. All right. Shoulders, if your shoulders have come up, let them come down. Our upper body is long, lower body super strong. All right, just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's bend those knees, sweep those arms up high, open up into cactus arms. Really open up that heart, pull that belly in, breathe. And on your next inhale, let's come to tall mountain. Exhale into that forward fold. Inhale into half lift, so find your number 7. All right. Exhale, fold. And now we're going to plant both hands, all right? We're going to step back into a low lunge with our left foot. If you step back with the opposite, no worries, right? We always do both sides. All right, so we're in this low lunge. We're going to gently set that back knee down. If you want to put a towel under that knee, that's awesome. We're going to heel toe that front foot out just a little bit so that we can bring both hands inside of that foot, okay? Not as far as lizard, just a little bit, all right? Now, taking your right hand, so a hand that matches your front foot, you are going to inhale and bring that all the way around towards your back leg. Okay, you're just opening that shoulder, opening that heart. Now come on back. Go ahead and heel toe that foot in so your hands are framing that front foot. And we're going to lift that back knee to find our traditional low lunge. All right, knee is over ankle. Now let's plant that opposite hand and we're going to do a low lunge twist. So lots of twists today, lots of heart openings. Keep breathing. Wiggle those fingers to activate the muscles in your arms. All right, let's release that down. Now from here, I know we normally come up to high crescent lunge, but we're not going to today, all right? We're just going to walk our hands around to the front, all right? So depending on where your mat is, you might have to adjust a look, but we walked around to the front. Go ahead and make sure that your feet are parallel or even slightly pigeon-toed, okay? And we are going to let our upper body just come down. So we're in a wide leg forward fold. Hands can be on the ground. They can be on our ankles. They can be through our legs. We're just here for a few breaths. Let that head release. Okay, so shake it if you need to get it to release. All right, now go ahead and lift up into your half lift, okay? So we're in this wide leg forward fold, we're in our half lift, and release down into forward fold. Now we are gonna just keep walking our hands right on through to the other side to repeat what we did on the other side, okay? All right, so with that front foot, just heel toe it out a little bit so you can place both hands firmly on the mat. Let that back knee come down, and that hand that's closest to the foot is going to sweep open, to open that heart, open that shoulder. Give us a little twist. Keep breathing. Now come on back, all right? Now let's lift that knee up, all right? Let's walk that foot in a little bit so we're framing it with our hands. We've got our traditional low lunge. Now, opposite hand stays down, matching hand goes up for a low lunge twist. Wiggle those fingers, activate that arm. Awesome. Now release that down. And just like we did before, we're going to walk through center. Now, let that head hang long. Shake that head, yes. Okay. And now we are going to bend our knees and slowly walk up. Awesome. Roll those shoulders down and back, okay? Really loosen those shoulders. Fantastic. All right, from here, we are going to go ahead and point our toes towards the corner of our mat. So this time our toes are out and our heels are in. We're going to move into goddess and star pose, all right? So let's inhale those arms up high, and on an exhale, we're going to come down into these cactus arms, these goddess arms, all right? When you get down, if this doesn't feel stable, you might want to adjust your stance a little bit, right? We want our knees and toes going in the same direction. We want our belly pulled in, that tail slightly tucked under, all right? And we've got goddess arms. Now from here, we're going to push up to 5-pointed star, open that heart, exhale to goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star, exhale, goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star, exhale, goddess, keep that belly tucked in. Inhale, 5-pointed star, exhale, goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Let's bring our hands through heart center. Find our goddess legs, all right? Now, you can stay just like this, all right? Part of you do you, right? Maybe you want to lift one heel, then lift the other, okay? Maybe you're saying, no, I don't want to do either of those things. Then you don't have to do either of those things, right? Yoga is a practice. It's not a performance. All right, or you may want to lift both heels at the same time. Just hold for a minute. Not a whole minute, of course, right? If your heels are lifted, go ahead and release that. And let's straighten up into that 5-pointed star. Let those arms come down. Roll those shoulders. Awesome. We are going to move into our warrior two. All right? So front toes are going to face the front of the mat. Back foot is going to be parallel to the back edge of the mat. And we are going to move into warrior two. All right? So warrior two, again, this is one of those things I can't see you on, right? So I'll give what my typical cues would be, but go ahead and peek down at that front foot. Make sure that heel is aligned either with your back heel or your back arch, okay? Knee is bent. It's either right over your ankle or behind it. It's just never in front of your ankle. All right, we never want to stress that knee. Now we've got our head over our heart, our shoulders over our hips. We are adding our strong warrior arms. All right, now activate those fingertips on both hands. Feel as if your fingers are being pulled in both directions. Right arms are completely activated. Our gaze is over that front middle finger. Awesome. Belly is pulled in. Now let's flip that front palm and reverse our warrior. Oh, I just heard all kinds of cracking in my spine. It was a good cracking. All right, now let's come on back to that warrior two. All right, find your warrior two. Now let's go ahead, moving into extended side angle. We're going to reach forward, reach. Then let that front arm come down to that front thigh. Back arm comes up, or all the way over, or in a bind, okay? Either way, our heart and our shoulder were open towards the ceiling. So whichever feels good. If your hand is at that angle, make sure you've got that line of energy from your fingertips down to your toes. Now pull that belly in, push into your feet as if you're splitting your mat apart. Come on back to that warrior two. Awesome, let's straighten that front leg and let's reverse our triangle. It's got this great triangle shape. And now let's come back to that warrior two. All right, from here, let's straighten that leg one more time. We are going to move into our regular triangle by reaching forward, all right? And when we can't reach anymore, we let this front arm come down to that front shin, to the floor. If you have a block, you can have that hand come down to the block, okay? So whichever you prefer, okay? Hips have gone out that way, but our heart is still open. Awesome. All right. Now pull that belly to the spine and come on up to that warrior two. Let those arms float down. Go ahead and bring those toes center. Toes are going to be out, heels are in. We're back in this pose we were just in with star and goddess. All right, so let's inhale up to 5-pointed star. And let's come down to goddess. All right, awesome. Inhale to 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Now, either continue with five-pointed star and goddess, or maybe you want to add some lateral flexion. Okay, as you come up, you straighten that arm, straighten that leg. Again, you do you, right? Maybe you want to take a moment in child's pose right now. That's awesome too, right? Maybe you want to spend the whole time in child's pose. That's good too, because that's what you need right now. All right. Now, wherever you're at, finish that round, and we are going to meet in that five-pointed star with our heart open. Awesome. Let's release those wrists down. Go ahead and roll those down. When you get down, roll those shoulders, and we are going to go to warrior two towards the other direction. So back foot parallel to the back edge of the mat. Front foot, toes are straight out, okay? Pointed straight in front of you. All right, find your warrior two. Check your alignment. So you've got heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Okay, activate those fingers. Right, when we are in warrior two, our arms are strong, okay? So release those arms down once, roll those shoulders, and then let's lift those arms up as if we're pushing through water. Okay, until we get those strong warrior arms. Awesome. Now let's flip that front palm and reverse our warrior, keeping that bend in that front knee. We're just opening up this side body. Awesome. All right, now let's come on back to that warrior two. Awesome. Now in your warrior two, this is where I can't see you. Maybe you move forward a little bit. Maybe you move back a little bit. But you try to think about, where is my warrior so my shoulders are over my hips. All right, so we're not too far in the past or too far ahead in the future. All right, so we're in our warrior two. Let's move into extended side angle by reaching forward, letting that front arm come down to the front thigh. Back arm comes up, either straight up in the air or all the way over for this complete stretch from your foot to your toes. All right? Gaze can go wherever it's most comfortable on your neck. You want to always be mindful of that. All right, now pull that belly to the spine, push into those feet, bring yourself back up. Awesome, straighten that front foot, and we're going to reverse our triangle. And come on back to that warrior two. Now again, let's straighten that front leg. We're going to move into full triangle, Trikonasana, by reaching forward, forward, forward. And when we can't reach anymore, we let that front arm come down to that front thigh or to the floor. Back arm is lifted and heart is open. All right, if you feel yourself folding forward too much, we're going to open that shoulder and send it up high. Awesome, hope you're all doing well. All right, now let's really push into the feet, pull that belly in, lift with that belly. Come on back to that warrior two. Now let's let those arms come down. Fantastic. Let's bring those big toes straight out in front of us where we began in this pose, okay? Now let's go ahead, inhale those arms up high. On an exhale, let's bring them in front of us. Put the backs of your hands together, okay? Bring those arms around behind you, clasping your fingers. Roll your shoulders down and back and open that heart, okay? Take a breath here. And when you're ready, we're going to hinge at the hips. So when we say we're hinging at the hips, we're keeping that back straight, and we are literally hinging at the hips. Okay, coming down, 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 down. If it's comfortable for you, your hands are still clasped. All right, you can keep them clasped as you let them float forward, or just go ahead and release them to the ground. All right? Make sure your feet are parallel, slightly pigeon-toed. Let that head hang long. Awesome, everybody.
All right, now we are going to go ahead and plant, choose either hand. Plant your right hand or your left hand. Plant one hand on the ground, and we are going to twist, opening the other hand up to the sky. And breathe, wiggle those fingers to activate them. And release that down. Let's go to the other side. Inhale and bring that arm up as we get a little spinal twist in our upper body. And release that down. Now let's go ahead and put a good bend in those knees, and we are going to just slowly roll up. Let your arms hang long. Awesome. When you get up, again, another shoulder roll down and back. Now very intentionally, using all the muscles in your feet, in your toes, go ahead and heel toe those feet together. Ta-da! Right? Now we're in Tadasana. Ta-da! Just like when we were little kids. I'm here, ta-da! All right. We're going to move into a little balance pose with our eagle pose, all right? So, to prepare for eagle, you may, if you have a block or a thick book, you may want to put that on the outside of your left foot if you like using a block with eagle. If you don't or you don't know, go ahead and place it there, and you may or may not use it. All right, so let's inhale those arms out to the side. On the exhale, let's bring our right arm, Bring your left arm under your right arm and wrap them up or twizzle them up, right? Okay, so you're wrapping up your arms, palms are coming to touch, or backs of hands are coming to touch, or hands can be on your shoulders, or they can be in that little V, kind of V. It actually looks more like an eagle, doesn't it? All right, so whichever hand position is comfortable for you, we've got that. We're lifting our elbows up to about shoulder height. Now, if you want to stay here in this eagle position, you can stay just like this, okay? Otherwise, go ahead and put a little bend in your knees, all right? Our right leg is our standing leg, which if you're using the block, you really should have it by your right leg. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so our right leg is our standing leg. We've got our arms wrapped up in whichever position. We're putting a little bend in that, all right? We're either going to stay here, or when we're ready, we're going to begin to lift that left leg up and over, okay? So when you lift it up and over, you can choose to bring it to the block. You can choose to put it on the floor on the other side. You can choose to wrap it around your leg. Either way, okay? All great options. Anytime we're doing balance poses, right? It's focus, but it's easy to fall out of them. So if you find yourself falling out of it, right? No big deal, right? We just get right back into it, okay? So just for 3, 2, 1, go ahead and untwist yourself. Do a full body stretch up in the air. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Shoulders away from the ears, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees. Circle, sweep those arms up. Come into your tall mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center. Namaste. Preparing for eagle on the other side. So if you want to use a block, go ahead and put it by your left foot, okay? Because our left foot is our standing leg, all right? If you don't want a block or a book, no worries, all right? So let's inhale those arms out high. And on the exhale, the right arm is going to come under the left arm, and you twizzle up those hands, okay? Lifting those elbows, or hands in that gentle hug, or in that V. Either way, our elbows are lifted about shoulder height. Okay, so we have this nice opening. Now go ahead and put a little bend in those knees. All right, keeping in mind that the left leg is our standing leg, so maybe you start to lift a little weight off of that right leg. All right, maybe you just stay here with your big toe on the ground. Maybe you want to cross that foot over and have it land on the block. Okay, we're still keeping the belly pulled in, that spine long, or you want to twist it up, whichever you prefer, okay? Find that drishti, that focal point you can stare at, just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's release that down. Come up to your tall mountain. Exhale to your forward fold. While you're down in forward fold, go ahead and get that block out of your way, okay? Inhale to your half. Lift shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees. Circle sweep those arms up to tall mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center. Namaste. All right, we are going to prepare for pigeon from down dog. So depending on which way you're facing, face so you're on the long part of your mat, okay? And if you would like to do pigeon from on your back, when we get to that point, well, I'll cue that as well. So inhale those arms up high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shoulders away from the ears, long spine. Exhale, let's plant your hands and step back into your high plank or your knees plank. All right, last time here today. Okay, awesome. All right, let's push back into that down dog. Fantastic. Now, if you want to do supine pigeon, go ahead and float your knees to the ground and gently lower down to your back. If you want to do pigeon from down dog, I'll cue you first. So go ahead and inhale that right leg high, bend that knee, then bring it all the way on through so that knee comes down to where your wrist creases are. Okay? Then you slowly walk that extended leg back and you're in your pigeon. All right? Now from here, when you are ready, you can slowly walk those hands forward and let your upper body come on down, maybe to stack fists, maybe flat to your palms, maybe to the mat. This back leg is still engaged. Awesome. All right, if you are in supine pigeon, you've already come probably down to your back, okay? Your heels are close to your tail. Go ahead and take one leg up, crossing like a figure 4, all right? So you've got one ankle just below that other knee. And when you're ready, take your hands and reach through to thread the needle, kind of like we did earlier, but a different version, and gently pull that bent leg back towards you, okay? So hopefully you can see that well. All right, now you can keep both feet flexed if you want to really engage those legs the whole time. And remembering in pigeon is a pose that we hold for quite a while. It's a deep stretch. All right, so we never want any pain in pigeon, right? Actually, we never want any pain in yoga. What's our motto? I know you can all repeat it. No pain, no pain. That's the motto of yoga, right? So if you're in pigeon, on either pigeon, and you have pain, we want to come right out of that and adjust that, right? If it's a deep stretch, that's a different feeling, but we don't want pain. So, all right. So if you are in pigeon from down dog, when you are ready, you are slowly going to bring those hands back under the shoulders, lifting that upper body. Okay. So we've got all this length in our spine, this great bend in our spine. And now we're going to go ahead and curl those back toes, lifting back up into three-legged dog and then releasing that leg down. All right? Now take a moment there to pedal out. If you are in supine pigeon, you release, heel toe your feet to the edges of the mat, and then let your knees windshield wiper one direction, then another direction. Preparing for pigeon on the other side. If you are in pigeon from down dog, all right, let's go ahead and lift that other leg high, bend at the knee, carefully help it through so it comes to those wrist creases, then walk that extended leg back, all right? Find all this length in your upper body, all right? Now you can stay here if you wish, Or when you're ready, you can allow yourself to slowly melt towards the floor, maybe coming to stacked fists. Maybe you grab your block or your Harry Potter book. All right. If you're in supine pigeon, you are in the same position, just the opposite, okay? So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. That's the thing, you can't all say no, or I can't see your faces, so when you make that funny squinched up face that tells me whatever I just said didn't make any sense at all. So I do miss that look. All right, take some deep breaths here. Now, if you are in pigeon on your back, when you're ready, you're going to untwist out of that figure 4, heel, toe those feet to the edges of the mat, and windshield wiper those knees. If you are in pigeon from down dog, you're going to slowly lift that upper body, bringing those hands under those shoulders. Little back bend right now. Tuck those back toes under. When you're ready, go ahead and lift that leg up to 3-legged dog. Let it come down. Now take a moment here. Maybe you need to pedal it out because even though we do both sides of everything in yoga, right, we always have one side that feels different than the other side. All right, so when you are ready, let those knees float down to the ground, and we are going to come to seated. Fantastic. All right, if you are down on the ground for pigeon, go ahead and stay down on the ground, or you can come back up and we'll roll down together. It's up to you, okay? All right, so find this nice long spine, right? Okay, so shoulders are down and back. We have this long spine. We're on our sit bones. We even pull that little fleshy part away a little bit, right? Feet are flexed. Inhale those arms up high. Now go ahead and bring them in front of you. Kathy, this is our here's our church, here's our steeple thing. We go ahead and make that little steeple, right? And keeping this nice long spine, we fix our gaze on those front fingers and we slowly roll in. We pull our abs in as much as we can and we slowly roll down, keeping our gaze fixed on those front fingers. Now, if you prefer, you can also bend your knees and roll down that way. All right, so again, you do you. You do you today, which is different than you do you yesterday or the day before, right? When you get all the way down, go ahead and stretch those arms all the way over your head. One of my favorite things. Stretch those toes as if, right, you've just picked up about 3 inches of length in your spine. Continue to breathe as we slow down our flow a little bit. All right, now let's go ahead and bring those hands to our side, and we are going to prepare for bridge pose. All right? Sorry, my hair got a little in my way there. All right, so in bridge pose, let's go ahead and bring those heels close to our bottom, okay, where our middle fingers are. Feet are flat. Maybe walk those shoulder blades in just a little bit, nuzzle them in a little bit. And we are going to push into those feet and come on up into that bridge pose. All right, gaze is up towards the ceiling. We want that neck in a neutral position. Now maybe in your bridge pose, maybe you walk those shoulder blades in a little bit and you clasp your hands underneath. Keep pushing into those feet. Okay, keep that gaze up towards the ceiling. And breathe. We're getting this deep, deep, deep back bend. But again, you do you, so you modify to what feels good for you. Now, if your shoulders are nuzzled underneath, go ahead and, I don't know if there's such a thing as unnuzzling, but unnuzzle them as you slowly let your back come down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time. And when you get down to the mat, go ahead and bring those knees close to your chest, one of my other favorite things, right? So we're rolling like a ball a little bit, one side and then the other. All right, now go ahead, let your arms come down to your side. Let's bring those legs straight up in the air, all right? Maybe take your hands and walk them under your tailbone just a little bit, because we are going to pull those abs in and we are going to slowly lower those feet, okay? So we're really working those abs. We're lowering those feet. And when we get close to the bottom, if you haven't hit the bottom yet, I shouldn't say hit, I guess, right? You can go to the bottom, and then we are going to reverse, slowly lifting up again, using those abs, protecting our lower back with our hands under our butt. And here we are again. Now go ahead and bring those knees to the chest, rock around a little bit. Awesome. Let's come back down to one more bridge pose. Now, if you have a block handy, you certainly at any time can go ahead and put a block between those upper thighs, and that'll help us keep them from splaying out. So you're welcome to try that if you wish. Don't need to, okay? When you are ready, push into those feet. We're going to slowly roll up that spine, one vertebrae at a time, coming into this bridge pose. If you wish, you nuzzle those shoulders under and walk those hands in. And breathe. Neck is neutral and released, okay? We don't want to be looking to either side. We want our neck straight, our gaze straight to the ceiling. Now slowly, slowly, slowly release those down. Rolling down one vertebrae at a time. All right, if you have the block between your legs, go ahead and just set that to the side as you bring those knees to your chest. Awesome. All right, from here, let's let those feet come down into that bridge position. We're going to go into legs up the wall for just a moment. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a block, with a block if you don't know that, or a book, okay? If you know legs up the wall, either with or without a block, go ahead and just move right into that now. It's an awesome inversion. All right, if you're not sure about legs up the wall, we're going to come up into that bridge position like we did, but we're going to go ahead and put a block under that lower back, okay, that sacrum, that area, all right? Then we're going to let our hips come back down. So we're resting on that block. Now, if that doesn't feel good, right? What's our motto? No pain, no pain. If it doesn't feel good, we don't do it, right? All right. So you also may need to adjust that block to find the perfect spot for you. And if you want to go straight into legs up the wall, you bring your knees to your chest and let those legs come up to the wall. We're basically doing legs up the wall, of course, without a wall. So you can do them without a wall. Again, you may have to come down to adjust that block. Sometimes I get it spot on, and other times I have to adjust it a few times. So legs up at the wall is an awesome inversion. Great anytime. Great way to calm yourself, relax yourself before bed. You just have to not fall asleep like this, because then, eventually you'll fall out of it. All right, take a few more breaths, and when you're ready, just bring those knees to the chest. Let the feet come to the floor. If you have a block underneath, just lift those hips, set that block to the side. Let those hips come down. Let's bring the soles of our feet together, and let our knees open up to the sides for Supta Baddha Konasana. And just take some deep breaths here as we release. And when you are ready, go ahead and help those knees back center to move into your version of Shavasana, right? One of the best things about a yoga practice, all right? Final relaxation. So if you wish, go ahead and extend those legs long. Let the feet come out to the side, hands come out to the side. Maybe you nuzzle those shoulder blades under again. It's a time of release, right? So we're not holding any tension. Maybe you move your jaw side to side. Sometimes I have to move my wrists around a little bit if I'm still maybe holding some tension from planks or down dogs. So you want to feel yourself melting into the mat. Now, if this is not comfortable for your lower back, another great option again is those feet to the edges of the mat and knees coming together. For some people, that just feels so much better and so much more relaxing. All right. So now in your Shavasana, you take a moment here to appreciate everything you just did this last hour, this practice. Everything you did that your body needed, that your mind needed. And keep breathing. And while you breathe, and while you relax, while you melt into that mat, that magic carpet, I'm going to share a little reading that I found, and unfortunately I couldn't find who wrote it, so I apologize. There wasn't a name with it. If you know, let me know. All right? That I think fits so well for right now. So just feel free to stay in your Shavasana position if you would like. And this little reading is just called A Shout Out to Everyone Who is Trying. Trying to do the right thing. Trying to stay open. Trying to hold on. Trying to let go. Trying to find the flow. Trying to stay afloat. Trying to meet each new day. Trying to find the balance. Trying to love themselves. Trying new ways and new things. I see you, and I'm there too. We are in this together. We're all trying to adjust to these new patterns, right? This new way, as I started out, this new way of us being together in a class, right? But we're in this together. And the light that is within you is something that will carry you forward and will carry everyone around you forward. You know, the light that is in there will never dim. And that's the beauty, right? And that's the beauty of doing you, being you, doing you. So I'm going to end this session. You can feel free to stay in Shavasana if you'd like. Otherwise, meet me up in just an easy seat. If you're in easy seated, feel comfortable inhaling those arms up long, raining them down on the side. And again, inhale those arms up. And on exhale, bring your hands through the heart center if you wish. The light in me honors, appreciates, and is lifted up by the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.